Elias Rayner awoke to the scent of smoke and the sound of sparks popping above his head. The escape pod had done its job, but barely. His head throbbed, his suit was scorched, and the planet he had landed on didn't appear on any Alliance chart. Thick purple foliage stretched into the horizon, buzzing with unfamiliar life. The gravity was heavier than Earth's, but breathable. He winced as he pushed himself to his feet. His radio was dead. The pod was split open. He was stranded. Then came the tremor. Not a quake, but a rhythm. A marching beat. It grew louder by the second. Elias staggered into a bush, hiding instinctively. Moments later, they arrived. 12-foot-tall humanoid women clad in gold and obsidian armor. They moved like warriors and glowed faintly beneath the twin suns. Spears hummed with electric energy in their hands. Humanoid male, one of them growled in a deep, guttural voice, her nostrils flaring. Unclaimed. The tallest of them stepped forward. She was magnificent. Her copper skin shimmered like forged steel, her silver eyes studying him with a hunger that felt primal. "Bring him," she commanded. Chapter 2. Queen Zanari. Elias was carried, not roughly, but firmly, to a massive stone citadel nestled into a mountain's flank. The architecture was elegant but brutal, carved from black crystal and crimson stone. It was ancient and alien, yet maintained with reverence. They dropped him before a throne shaped like the open jaws of a beast. Seated upon it was the same woman who had given the order. "I am Queen Zanari, of the Amarari," she said. Her voice was deep, commanding. "And you, Sky-Fallen One, you are now mine." Elias blinked. "Yours?" Zanari's silver eyes glittered. "You have landed on sacred ground, and by Amarari law, you are subject to the right of evaluation." "That doesn't sound good." She smirked. "It is for us. And possibly for you." She stepped down from the throne, towering over him. Every movement she made was with lethal grace. "We are a warrior race," she said, circling him. "But even warriors must propagate. Males of our kind are rare, weak, fragile. They die young. So we take what the stars send." "And if I refuse?" Elias asked. Zanari raised a brow. "Then we will honor your bravery, with a swift and painless death." He gulped. She smiled. "But you won't refuse. Not once you understand." Chapter 3. The Trial. They didn't throw Elias in a cell, nor did they chain him. Instead, he was bathed, fed, and brought to a large open arena at the heart of the citadel. The stands were packed with hundreds of Amazonian women, all chanting, singing, and pounding their weapons into the ground. Zanari stood at the center, holding a ceremonial spear. To be chosen, she declared, he must survive the trial. Elias groaned. "Of course there's a trial." A figure stepped forward, another warrior, taller than him, rippling with muscle and wrapped in leather and gold. She grinned at him, cracked her knuckles, and said, "Try not to die, little human." Before Elias could protest, the gong rang. He dodged instinctively as the Amarari warrior lunged at him. She was strong, stronger than any human, but slow and predictable. Elias had served in the Earth Federation's Recon Corps. He had training. Rolling to the side, he grabbed a nearby staff and used his agility to keep her off balance. He couldn't win with strength, but speed. Maybe. The battle lasted 10 minutes. The crowd roared in excitement. And when Elias landed the final blow, using her own momentum against her and flipping her onto her back, they erupted. Zanari stood and raised a hand. "Enough." She approached Elias, breathing hard, silver eyes wide. "You are strong, clever, adaptive. A survivor." Then she turned to the crowd and announced, "He is perfect for breeding." The roar that followed shook the mountain. Chapter 4. The Queen's chamber. Elias was taken to a lavish chamber adorned with silk, crystal, and massive plants that pulsed with light. A deep pool of glowing water lay at its center. The doors closed behind him with a deep boom. He wasn't alone. Zanari stood before the pool, now dressed in a silken robe that did little to conceal her towering figure. "You did not flee," she said, voice softer now. "You did not fail. That is rare." "I didn't know I had a choice," Elias muttered. "You always have a choice," she replied. "Even when you are mine." She approached him, gently tracing his jaw with a finger. "Do you fear me?" "Yes," Elias admitted. "Good," she whispered. "Then you understand what I am." "But not why," he said. "Why me? You could have anyone." Her face grew somber. "My people are dying. We are warriors, not scientists. Our genetic code is deteriorating. Few children survive. Those that do are weaker than their mothers. But humans, your kind, are stable, compatible, strong in ways we are not." "And what happens after?" Elias asked. "You use me and toss me aside." Zanari's expression changed. "No. If you give yourself willingly, you are elevated. As consort, as protector, you live in honor and comfort. If not, swift and painless death." She chuckled. "No. Then we try again with someone else. You would simply go free." Elias blinked. "Wait. What?" "I am queen, not a monster," she said. "But those who accept the right, they are never forgotten." She reached out her hand. "So what do you choose, Elias, reigner of earth?" He stared at her hand. At the glowing pool. At the twin moons beyond the arched window. He took her hand. Chapter 5. Ascension. The following months blurred into heat, training, passion, and purpose. Elias became more than a consort. He became a symbol. The first human to survive the right, to earn the Queen's favor, and to live among the Amerari as one of them. He trained daily, learned their language, and studied their customs. He sparred with the warriors who once saw him as prey. Now they treated him with respect, even affection. Zanari, despite her stoicism, grew attached. Their bond deepened, forged through shared trials and quiet nights beneath alien stars. But peace is a fragile thing. One night, a scout arrived from the far steppes. Another tribe of Amerari, exiles, had learned of Elias. They saw his presence as blasphemy. They marched toward the Citadel with one goal, to take him. Not for honor. For conquest. Zanari summoned Elias to the war chamber. "You can escape," she said, offering him a vessel. "Fly. I will hold them off." "No," he said. "I'm not running." She clenched her jaw. "Then you may die." "I'd rather die standing with you," Elias said, "than live running from everything." She kissed him then, fierce and full of fire. And they prepared for war. Chapter 6. Fire and Fury. The battle came at dawn. The exiles were brutal, feral, and bloodthirsty. But Elias fought alongside the Amerari, side by side with the very warriors who had once questioned his worth. He moved like lightning, guiding squads, setting traps, using tactics the Amerari had never seen. He turned the tide. Zanari struck down the enemy warlord herself, her blade singing through the air. When it was over, the citadel stood. The Amerari chanted his name. Not as consort. Not as breeder. But as warrior. Chapter 7. The Human King. Elias stood before the throne, no longer an outsider. Zanari took his hand and raised it high. "By Amerari law," she said, "he has proven himself. Not as a vessel, but as an equal. A leader. My chosen." She turned to him, voice fierce and proud.